this from the attorney. You're
I'm
being
done.
biased.
I'm done. You're not
You're
going to
biased.
interrupt me.
You're very biased.
You're not gonna keep interrupting me. Motion's
Sorry,
denied.
I was never trying to interrupt you. You're very
Motion's
biased.
denied. Writ may issue. Thank
You're
you.
very
I say
biased and
mute
disrespectful.
her and kick her out of the meeting. And Arbor
Oh, wow.
Woods versus Kiera Morris. Kiera Morris. This is her motion to set aside default.
It is indeed. And we did file
I'm here, Judge. I'm sorry. I couldn't get my phone to work.
All right. That's her.
Oh, man.
Oh, there
I thought she was going to be in court saying all that.
you are. Hello. State your name.
Kiera Morris.
All right. This is your request to set aside the default.
Yes, sir.
All right. And what's the basis? You said you were unaware of the hearing.
No, so I was aware of the hearing. I was available for the first hearing. The attorney's office reached out to me and let me know that the staff needed some to be trained and that they were looking to resolve. So I had to keep reaching out, and nobody reached out to try to come to a resolve. So when the court date did come up, I just couldn't get back in time because I am working a contract with veterans in Las Vegas right now. So that is the reason why that I could not make it. I do believe my Zoom hearing was denied. So that's why I need to file a motion to actually be here.
Okay. Have the funds been paid to the landlord?
So that was the situation for the court date. Just in agreement of what funds they're saying are owed is not accurate.
Okay. I took a judgment was taken in November for $1,571.06. You're saying you don't owe that amount?
Yes, sir. That judgment was the day that I was not there. So we were supposed to try to come to a resolve. The issue actually stemmed from May. And Rachel Dornbush, I did speak with her on the issue in May. She did try to correct some things that we did not come to an agreement. There was a court date scheduled for May 16th, but somehow that was dismissed. But even on the Arbor Woods paperwork, they still had down that I had a balance. So we still should have been in court. So that is, I guess they didn't communicate that with their attorney because this is like all the way from May. So this issue has never been taken care
of. Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm looking at the ledger, and the reason that the case was dismissed is because there was a balance. I mean, there was a credit. I mean, there was nothing due and owing. So the case was dismissed for that reason. Your Honor, first and foremost, I mean, I'm going to object to the motion even proceeding because none of that was stated in the motion. The motion says I was unaware of the hearing. If there was something more that needed to be addressed as a part of this motion, Ms. Moore should have included that in the motion instead of making a false statement alleging that she was unaware of the hearing. That is verbatim what her motion says. I was unaware of the hearing, and this was only filed beyond 10 days because of the holiday. Well, if she was aware of the hearing, then she could have filed her motion on November 19th, November 20th. She could have filed it long before the holiday occurred, which prevented her allegedly from getting to the court to do it. So I'm going to object, Your Honor, that this motion hearing even moves forward on that basis. And I am going to request actual attorney's fees because the motion that was filed is clearly erroneous and a false statement was made to the court.
I actually did file more.
Oh, she's not playing. She is not playing with her. And she's making it very clear. We're not friends. And see, it looks like this woman missed court. Like a lot of people do. They don't take it serious or they just don't show up. And then they find out, see, she missed it. She wasn't taking the paperwork serious. But then when she find out she about to get evicted, oh yeah, they're about to get you up out of there. Oh, what can I do? What can I do to stop this? That's the cycle of procrastinators. Not doing nothing till they absolutely have to. And once she realized, like, yeah, there's something about to happen and you're about to have to be up out of here, they probably let her know, like, you have this many days to vacate, right? And so now she's like, oh no, what do I do? And she done searched up what her options was and found out she can do a motion to set aside default judgment, allegedly. So now she's trying to set aside what was already default because she didn't show up, allegedly. And this woman's like, well, no, I feel like you knew that you had to be here. Cause she seems pretty certain that she knew she had to be there. And basically she didn't bring anything new aside from the same excuse she's already used. So she's saying, nah, you've already tried that. Unless you have something new to bring to the table of why we need to set it aside, it's not happening. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype.
More than one motion. The motion that I did file for the Zoom hearing, it was actually denied. So I did have to file another motion. And I did speak with two representatives at the court. One of the girls' name was Ashley, and they did let me know that I did have that time to. I actually sent a paper and I took a scan of it, and I sent that in with the explanation of what was going on with the case. So I think you may have read it incorrectly. I can pull it up and I can read it to you now. But the only reason why I was not there is because we were supposed to come to a resolve and no one ever reached out. And Rachel Dornbush, when you're speaking on it was a zero balance, if you check back onto your attorney's documents, onto your client's documents on the ledger, the same day that I spoke with you and you put that credit onto my account and we did not agree on my rental rate, they went back and put a non-sufficient funds fee there. So on the same day, there was definitely a balance and we should have been in court on the 16th. They didn't communicate that with you. My
Well,
rent was supposed to go
first
up
of all,
in August. I'm sorry.
there was, so, and I'm just to try to get the order of this, and I don't know if you've got this, Ms. Dornbush, there was, so what I have is exactly what you stated on the motion. On her request for a Zoom hearing, she just had indicated that she's currently working out of the state of Las Vegas. I was hoping to come and resolve, but I have not received a call back yet. I can get a flight after work, but I'd be late for court. Please allow me to appear via Zoom. There's a 3-hour time difference.
And so I believe that was in the Zoom request, Your Honor, that was submitted to the court the day before the
Yeah.
hearing on, I think, November
Correct.
17th at around 3:30 p.m., which was after she contacted our office on the same day. She contacted our office around 3 p.m. and was reminded of the in-person bench trial scheduled for the 18th. But her motion that was filed with the court says, I was unaware of the hearing and it's only after 10 days because of the holiday. That is false. Ms.
It's
Moore was
absolutely not true.
100% aware of the hearing.
Wow.
If we're speaking on things, I'm sorry, my phone blanked out.
Let's hold on. They got this documented that you had tried to put in to be on Zoom in court, basically already saying the circumstance that you were facing and why it was going to be hard for you to be in court in person. But then it sounds like in her motion is trying to seem like, oh, I had no idea. I wasn't aware of it, allegedly. Oh, wow. I'm very curious. Look, the judge and the attorney is like, ma'am, do you know you're under oath? But I want to see if she's going to take accountability for this. I want to see if she's going to take accountability for being allegedly caught up in a lie. And how are we going to move past this?
Hearing.
If we're speaking on things, I'm sorry, my phone blanked out. If that may have been, I did file
May
two
have been.
motions. So I don't know if both of them actually came through. I can pull up the ones that I have and I can send it back into the court.
Ma'am,
So
I have your signature on a motion to set aside the default. And under paragraph 2, you're asking the court to set aside the judgment and it indicates that it must be filed within 10 days of the default judgment. And then it's because, and you wrote in, I was unaware of the hearing, and it's
Mm,
only after 10 days because of the holiday. The first part of that is it's patently false. You were aware of the hearing because you filed the request for a Zoom on that, so you
wow.
knew the hearing was taking place.
See, she gets to talking all fast and explaining. It's amazing how, if we didn't have this documentation, this paperwork, she would actually be doing pretty well as far as convincing people. But we know that it's a lie. And so she has confidence in her gift of gab enough to think that she's going to be able to talk her way out of something that she wrote down and signed, probably notarized, and she still has confidence enough. And then we already kind of got the spoiler of how she's going to react when she's ultimately fully held responsible. So we already kind of know she's not going to take accountability and just be like, "Yeah, you're right. That's crazy. That's on me."
And then you said it's after 10 days because of the holiday.
Look at her face.
I don't even get that because the judgment was on November 18th, and there's at least really 7 days, well, more than 7 days before the holiday. There was like 9 days before the holiday that you could have filed it. So,
And I'm
and it did
confused
not
on the
get filed.
motion.
It
Go
did
ahead.
not get filed with us until December 1st was your signature, and that's when our timestamp is.
And yes, I do.
So
I'm not trying to cut you off. I did call in. She did let me know that I had a few more days, and she let me know that I had to file a motion. I have the emails from you guys, and I never got the $20, I guess the check thing to actually put the motion in online. So I had to have someone come up there and do it. I would have had the motion in prior to that. My Zoom hearing was denied, and I did submit a piece of paper with a lengthy information on what we're talking about. This is the same conversation that we had prior to when the other attorney decided that they need to train staff and we're trying to come to a resolve. So my information hasn't changed and my issue hasn't changed either.
Ma'am, you really going down that hill, huh? Instead of just taking responsibility, taking accountability, and moving on.
And if we would have been in court in May, because that ledger says
well,
that I
in
had a
May,
balance.
ma'am, trying to go back to May, Ms. Dornbush just stated you had a credit on your account, and that's why they dismissed it.
Correct, the same
So,
day, Judge. Ms. Dornbush is not
but
acknowledging that her client put a non-sufficient funds fee and reversed that payment back onto my ledger after I spoke with her.
when are you saying that happened?
That happened on the same day on 5/6 of
Do
2025.
you see that on the account, Ms. Dornbush?
I do see that, Your Honor, and I believe I can't speak to it with certainty because I was unaware of that until Miss Morris brought that up. But if a dismissal had already been submitted to the court, my client would have then had to motion the court to reinstate the case, number one, to try to pursue those amounts. And following that, Ms. Morris did continue to make payments on the account in June. Payments were made and credits were done to the account, leaving a balance of $50.49. And so I don't believe my client felt there was a reason to reinstate based on subsequent payments being made. I
Well,
mean,
sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Just to let you know, Ms. Dornbush, because I know you didn't speak to your client. I spoke to them and we were going back and forth. They ignored my phone calls, a whole lot of things. That was done probably about 2 hours after me and you had spoke. And they literally have it on the ledger. They knew about it and it took over 30 days for them to actually correct that. And they also put a $30 late fee onto May's rent as well. So this is an issue that needed to be addressed because just like with the $2, my rent was supposed to go up in August. That's a whole 12 months. So I understand that you
what is
didn't.
her
They didn't.
current balance?
The current balance, Your Honor, hold on. I've got to find the current ledger that I have for this case. Give me just one moment.
Did you know if this attorney was caught lying in court, like if she got found and caught lying in court, signing something, and then it didn't match what she's saying, even the judge, she would never be able to probably testify in court ever again. She would probably lose her license. Any professional who has dealings in the court, if they're found lying in court, their reputation is pretty much done. They can't testify and it have any validity anymore. Why we're still listening to this woman, Miss Morris's testimony after was caught in a lie, I don't understand. Anything further from her, you need to have proof. I think I heard her bring up some phone calls or something. No, ma'am. You don't have that luxury anymore. We just caught you on a signed document, allegedly, basically being dishonest. And we're still listening to the stuff she's saying with no proof back behind it.
With December, Your Honor, $2,364.19.
And ma'am, if I take everything that you're saying, how much are you saying you owe?
Honestly, Judge, there was a discrepancy in
I know
September.
that.
Okay,
So
I'm saying in
you tell
September.
me,
Yeah.
How much do you
taking
owe?
out all of
Mhm.
that, how
Mhm.
much do you think you owe right now?
I think I owe them around $300 from the discrepancy.
See, she doesn't like to be to the point. And that's when you know somebody is just trying to skew and misinterpret facts. When they can't just get to when you ask them a direct question and they want to start with, yeah, so Your Honor, there was a discrepancy and it's like, ma'am, just answer the question.
Think you owe right now?
I think I owe them around $300 from the discrepancy that the office made in September, sending out a notice, 7-day notice, saying that my rent was owed was $360
Did you
and
pay
6 cents.
December rent?
Yes, I did. I paid it into escrow at the court, and I did that with November's rent as
Okay,
well.
I've got 700. So you're
My
saying that if I take that 700 off, add the 300, so basically $1,000, that you're saying that there's an error on your account in the amount of $1,364.19.
yes, it is.
Absolutely not, Your
You
Honor.
can say absolutely not
Where
if you
is
look at
that
the
gonna
first.
come from, ma'am?
So where it's coming from is my lease is supposed to start in August. They charged me a lease increase in May, June, and July. My lease is supposed to be from 8/1/2024 to.
All right, so in May, June, and July, what are you saying they charged?
They charged me $694 for lot rent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you're saying that, what should it have been?
My lot rent should have been $657.
So that's about a $50 difference each of those months. That's $150.
He done
On
pinned her
top of
down
late
now.
fees.
So how many late fees?
They charge you 2 late fees per month.
How much are the late fees?
Okay,
So
so
that's
even if they did
$85 per
that,
month.
and Ms. Dornbush, maximum amount of late fees per month is what?
Your Honor, the late fees total per month is 55 that gets charged on after the 5th, and
That ain't nothing.
$30 that gets charged on the 21st. So it's $85 a month. However, let me go look at Miss Morris's ledger and see if she's actually making these payments timely. Because if she's not making her payments timely, whether there's a discrepancy or not, the late fee would have hit.
Okay,
So
I hear you on that. But what I'm getting at is your numbers aren't matching, because even if I take 85, give me 85 times 3, give me 85 times 4.
Yeah. That's a low late fee.
340. So I've got 150 and 340. Where else are you claiming that there's a discrepancy of some type?
Okay, so moving forward, if you look at to July, well, you took
Oh
that. If
no.
you said my rent was
No, no, no.
657 in
You
July,
we can't be doing the math like that, Judge. See, he's doing it. He's taking the math step by step. No, first tell me all the discrepancies. Give me every single one of them. Then we'll do the math. Because now she's just coming up with stuff and adding stuff on from there. We can't stair step this. You need to tell me all the discrepancies at once, and then we can start workshopping it and doing the math.
I went into the office. They locked my mailbox, and I have been kicked out of the
She's just coming
customer
up with
portal to
stuff.
pay online. So I get charged a $10 fee with every
Ma'am,
payment.
ma'am,
Look, see?
listen
If
to
you
me.
look on,
Didn't I
if you
tell
look
you?
on my
Listen
ledger,
Look, I'm getting frustrated too. She's just coming up with stuff. But he kind of gave her the opportunity to do that. But yeah, she's just coming up with it on the fly.
mailbox, and I have been kicked out of the customer portal to pay online. So I get charged a $10 fee with every
Ma'am,
payment.
ma'am, listen
If
to
you
me.
look on, if you look on my
Listen
ledger,
to
She said
me.
$10 payment.
You are claiming that there is some $1,300, almost $1,400. That is a discrepancy on your account.
Look, she
I'm
thinking.
Yes, sir.
asking you for where
She
that
thinking.
discrepancy is.
Okay,
You
sir,
have
and
given me
I'm
150. I'm not
sir.
agreeing with
Uh-oh,
you.
here it
I'm
come,
just
here it
saying,
come.
where are you getting these numbers?
So where
Every time you hold her to something, see, here it comes. The pivotal moment where it's about to go off the rails. Because when you really pin somebody down that doesn't like taking accountability and doesn't like taking responsibility, and then they're in a corner and they have nowhere else to go and no more wiggle room, then they're going to come for you. And I believe it's called ad hominem. Then they're going to start doing the ad hominem attacks. And I think that's what we started with at the beginning, that it kind of spoiled for us.
I'm getting these numbers from are my ledger. It started in May. So they put a non-sufficient funds fee on the account. After they put that non-sufficient funds fee, they added that money that was owed for May, the rent, they added that onto June. I have a 7-day notice from June. It says my rent at the top of the paper is $657, but they're not putting that onto the ledger. So that is incurring a balance. They put the non-sufficient funds fee, put the 718 back onto my ledger around June 12th or June 13th. Moving forward, we still had a balance in July. No one is trying to come to an agreement about the balance with my ledger. So it kept on incurring. Then we get to August. I go into the office, they say I owe $175. So she says, well, you know what? Since you've been locked out of your account,
See, I told you she's good at talking. She's good at just monologuing. See, she's in flow state right now. Look at her. She's in flow state right now talking.
175. We
Look.
get to August. I go into the office, they say I owe $175. So she says, well, you know what? Since you've
They
been
have a word for this, like with athletes, it's when they get in the zone. See, she's in her element now. She's in the zone with just rambling off stuff that when you actually start to get factual and you actually start to get tangible, it still doesn't add up. But it sounds good, and she can keep going like this all day. But whenever we get back to the numbers and we just get direct, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
locked out of your account. Her name is Dana. She said you've been locked out
See,
of your
now you're
account.
bringing up
We'll
Dana.
credit you those $10 fees back. I'll do 17 of them. We're going to investigate. We'll do more. Kenya just took those $170 credits off in October. Those were supposed to be taken off in August. I paid my October rent to the office. They told the court that they didn't have any rent. If you look at 9/6 on my 7-day notice,
She's saying a whole lot of nothing. She's like, if I just keep talking for long enough and wear them out, I'm gonna end up getting $1,400, $1,500 knocked off what I gotta owe. She done won before. She done been successful with this before. This is why they keep doing it.
Kenya, the new manager, sent
Ma'am,
out he
ma'am,
sent out a letter
ma'am.
saying, "Oh,
See?
Ma'am,
Stop her,
$360."
Judge.
ma'am,
Stop her.
you are telling me that there's some $1,300, $1,400.
Every time we
You
hold
are
her to
not
it.
telling me where those numbers are coming from. You
Okay,
have
so let me
given
rephrase
me
this,
a
Judge.
total amount of
Mhm.
$490, basically, that you're saying shouldn't be on your account.
I said there's a total, the $450. If you look at my ledger that I paid in September, that was supposed to be the total balance owing for September. That was a staff error. It was $360. I made
Oh
a
my goodness.
$450 payment to cover the late fees. So I should not have a balance. That was a staff error, not my fault. They sent me one paper in the mail and they sent another paper to the court.
So now we're talking about a staff error.
They also tried to steal my money order. I also submitted to the court the payments that are made on their check system. My money
And
order
they tried to
from May
steal
is
your
not
money
in that
order.
check system. Kenya, the manager, asked me, "Well, did they actually input it back into the check system?" I said, "I don't know."
You see how we talking about all these things aside from every month, how much is your rent? Okay. So that adds up to this. Okay. How much did you pay? That's really the only conversation we should be having. Every month, how much is your rent? Okay. How much can you prove that you paid? And we just do the math. She's taking it all over the place. And see, she's going to feel vindicated after this. And she's going to feel like, oh, she was slighted. But she knows what she's doing. It's very manipulative. And it's very calculated, in my opinion.
No, so I asked her, could I have proof? So all of this, my account is screwed up since May because of these different charges. They're saying I owe $2,000, but they also charged me a late fee and my rent was in escrow in November. My rent was paid to the office. The only time my rent was short was in September of 2025. And that was a staff office error. That was not a tenant error. I paid what they said was owed.
What they said.
Then they turn around the same day and send the court the same paper with different numbers on it. That's not my fault. All of their information that they even sent into the court with my lot rent. Sometimes it's $266, sometimes it's $391. And Rachel Dornbus, you or the rest of your colleagues never addresses it. They started my lease last year in
She gonna say her full
2024
name.
in July. It was
All right,
supposed to
ma'am,
start in August.
ma'am, here's the problem. Problem is, your motion says none of this.
Is that my motion a motion that I did, or did someone else do that?
What?
I don't know.
Because I can
It's the
send it back
motion
in.
you.
No
I can send proof back
accountability.
in.
Ma'am, you know, if you keep interrupting me, because
She is a master of misdirection, manipulation. You trying to talk to somebody like this, you'll never get anywhere. Because she's really good at deflection. She's really good at deflecting away from her at all times. Think of a battleship and it's got its little force field or whatever, and it just deflects all the beams. Bing, 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 bing from all directions. That is her default setting. And people like this, I don't want to be around them whatsoever. It's just exhausting.
Send proof.
your motion says none of this.
Is that my motion a motion that I did, or did someone else do that?
I don't know.
Because I can
It's the
send it back
motion
in.
you.
I
Now
can send
somebody
proof
else
back in.
did it.
Ma'am, you know, if you keep interrupting me, because I'm about done. You're not answering my question. You're not
Mm-mm.
giving me the figures. You gave
She's
me
not.
some figures which amount to 490, but that doesn't even make any sense to me.
Okay. My question is, how
And
does it make sense? Not make sense for me, but it makes sense from the attorney. You're
I'm
being
done.
biased.
I'm done. You're not
You're
going to
biased.
interrupt.
Oh,
You're very
wow.
biased.
You're
wow.
not gonna keep interrupting me. Motion's
Sorry, I was never
denied.
trying to interrupt you.
Motion's
You're very
denied. Writ
biased.
may issue. Thank
You're
you.
very
I'm done.
biased and disrespectful.
I'm done.
It doesn't matter. You're disrespectful and
am
you're very
done.
biased. You need to do your job.
I
You don't know
am
how to do your
done.
job.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I am done. Motion denied.
Your Honor, I would request that the money's held in escrow. I think, Your Honor.
The monies held in escrow are released to plaintiff and will be applied to the account balance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have an attorney.
Wow.
You have a boss as well. You're very biased, rude, and disrespectful.
She said you got a boss
and
as
kick her
well.
out of the meeting.
Hold on, man.
Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Lakeisha Sanders.
Nah, Judge. I don't like that. There's got to be some bigger consequences than that. People going unchecked for too long. We got to start checking ish out here. I'm sorry. So ultimately, it was denied, as we saw. Why it was denied? Well, for one, she filed beyond the 10-day rule. Right? She also had some false bases within it anyway, because she mentioned that she was unaware of the hearing, allegedly. And she tried to include new arguments that weren't even in her motion, allegedly. And as you saw, as she was going back and forth with the judge, it seemed like she was making things up on the fly. Very inconsistent statements. She was unable to provide any clear figures at all, but she alleges that the judge is basically taking the attorney's side, and you're hearing everything she has to say. Well, that's because she has her facts, her numbers, her figures right in front of her, and she's referring to it. You really want us to believe that you're just that smart, that you just got all the figures, all the numbers in your head? No. See, you're Thanos, because you have unlimited power, because you get to use your imagination. Everybody else has to operate within the realm of reality and what actually happened. But you get to use your imagination, and you can just get to come up with whatever you want. So I guess they had escrow funds for her to even be able to do all this. She had to pay what she would have owed since she already had the judgment. And fortunately, they're going to get paid something, right? Because they get those escrow funds. And it looks like, she ended up having to pay allegedly $1,571.06. So that's ultimately what we just witnessed. It was all over the place. It was entertaining, though. It was definitely entertaining, but it really just highlights something that you have to be aware of. And what I'm referring to is just, see, if they weren't in a fair environment, right? Take that other woman and take this attorney. In my opinion, the attorney is much sharper, right? Much more professional. But if they were just out in the wild, if you were looking at them going back and forth or having a debate, you would think that the other woman who was acting irate was winning, because she's using all type of wizardry, all type of tactics, manipulation tactics, and she always finds a way to get away from what we're really talking about. And she gets to use her imagination, and she gets to not operate in reality. Meanwhile, the other person's limited to actually have to stay factual and stay true. And this is the problem a lot of times when we're having interactions with people. So what I found when you're dealing with people like that woman is, don't give it any energy, don't give it any attention. And you really just have to get away from them and go on about your life, because you'll waste a lot of your life force. You'll waste a lot of energy trying to deal with, as well as trying to even engage with people who operate like that and just are unchecked and just get to do and act and be whatever is in accordance with how they feel, right? And they're just really subjective at the end of the day. They're not objective. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I'd greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype, and it was designed for smaller channels. And then also, if you see a video when it's 7 days old, then it probably won't have hype there anymore. So it's usually best to hype a newer video if that is what you want to do. It's best to just hype while the iron is hot. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.